want to take along to share that experience with. And what if you could keep track of all that information in one awesome place? That's where Mylifebuket comes in. It's a social networking site based on the concept of a bucket list. The goal is to help you define, share, and complete your life's goals. Mylifebuket website creator and entrepreneur is Ryan Corcoran, and he joins us now. Welcome to Full Frame, Ryan.
Thank you.
We'll get to that in just a minute. But when I think of bucket list, I think of the movie with Jack Nicholson, Morgan Freeman, a bunch of old codgers. You're a young guy. Why are you thinking about a bucket list so early in life?
Well, that is the thing. And it's funny you bring up the movie because I have actually not seen it, which is really ironic. But no, the concept of the bucket list has been very open, through a lot of people. And every now and then you hear people say, oh, it's on my bucket list and everything like that. But the concept of a bucket list was always a little bit morbid to me, right? You wait to the end of your life, you realize it's coming to an end, you make a list, and then it's like, I need to finish these things right away.
Before I kick the bucket.
Exactly. So, to me that was always a little strange, and I've always been very goal-oriented myself, so I thought, we should be focusing on doing our goals now, not at the end, just the whole way through, which is kind of where the whole Mylifebuket came from, right? Change it to a life bucket as opposed to a bucket list to kind of emphasis you should be doing it always.
And it's interesting, you and I had a chance to chat a little bit before we started the broadcast, and you were talking about going to San Antonio and seeing this chalkboard. Tell us the story, because I think young people, and I want to get inside your head and perhaps maybe some of your friends, young people today don't look at it as like, I've got to have a 30-year career at 9 to 5, I got to get the silver watch, then I'm going to do all this travel and stuff. Life experiences are very important for young people even today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So tell us about this chalkboard that you saw.
So in San Antonio, I was staying at a hotel, and right across there was a parking garage. And on the parking garage there was this big slate, chalkboard, and on it was written, things I want to do before I die. And there was probably, 50 blank lines that people could pick up chalk and write down things they wanted to do. And every time I passed it, it was full. And it was of different things. So they were probably erasing this at least twice a day. And just normal foot traffic, people walking by and picking it up and writing it down. And there were some really beautiful things on there, like, get married and, find God or things like that. And then there were some questionable things, but we won't go into those.
What is it you think you're trying to inspire in users? I mean, if I go on this site, what do you think I can, as a user, that I can get that's going to benefit me?
So the benefits that you would get is really the ability to keep track of your goals, get accountability. That's the big thing, right? When you go on to, do your goals and decide you want to do things, it helps when you have people looking at that and saying, hey, you've announced this to the world, now you need to do it, right? And Mylifebuket is very good at allowing you to also link your goals with your friends' goals, right? So if you wanted to go skydiving and I wanted to go skydiving, it would say, hey, you should go skydiving together.
It's interesting, though, but writing something down, it's a commitment that when it's just up here, it never has to really actually reach fruition. So it's a big step. So the commitment piece I totally get. And then the other piece that's really kind of nice about it, and is also important, is the cheerleader aspect. I mean, if you put the goal out there, and you have a group that's going to encourage you, that's going to get you a lot closer to your goal, isn't it?
Right. And that's really one of the underlying principles is having the support system there to do that, and having your friends and your families and even people you just met, through maybe another goal that you did, to help each other and achieve all your dreams and aspirations through that portal. I have some friends who have goals that are very simple. They don't need to be climb Mount Kilimanjaro or anything like that. Just like save $1,000. So I see these and I realize that not everything has to be these, major mountains you need to climb. It helps to have small goals, and I have some of those too. Like one of my goals that's in my focus is finish a resistance band program. So having it there just kind of motivates me to, continue to be healthy and work out and things like that. So whether it's, go to New Zealand or, save $100 in the bank, doesn't matter. I mean, a goal is a goal. You need to get it out there so you can start working on it.
Well, that's a really good point, because whereas I think this goal may not be that important, really, in a way, if it's important enough for me to write it down, it's important to me. It doesn't necessarily have to be important to you.
Right.
And you, as a cheerleader, you can still cheer me on, whether it's going to a concert or saving $100 or whatever. Let's jump in. I know you've got it right there. Why don't you grab it? Let's take a look at it and help our viewers get a better understanding. As you mentioned, one of the great things that you did was you showed it to folks. You got some really good input from the user standpoint. So walk us through. This is you.
Yes.
You're looking pretty stylish there with your sunglasses.
Thank you.
Seem pretty happy. So walk us through the interface. What are we looking at here?
So just on the home page here, and you have your notifications at the top. In the middle, you have the overview, which is kind of a breakout. So your goals, when you start adding them, you can list them into these categories that we call paths, right? Indicative of, taking the journey through life, and, there's different paths you can take. So you can see I've completed several in most of every category. And at the top, it might be a little hard to see, but I've completed 26 of 83 of my goals.
Wow.
So far. And, I'm adding goals every day.
Well, you've got to.
Yeah, absolutely. Just on the right there, you have the focus. And this is 5 goals that you're currently working on, right? And if we go into the focus, you see it's actually really easy to go through your goals. And if I wanted to remove one from my focus, maybe I want to put See the Northern Lights in there and save changes. Now I've added that to my focus, so it's there, it's in your face. So every time you log in, it's like, these are what you're working on. You should be reminded of that, right?
Right.
And I want to show you how easy it is just to add a goal. So if I go add a goal here, and I say be interviewed on TV show.
Well, there you go.
So we can add that. Should look familiar.
Nicely done.
So I go save, and it automatically generates a goal page for you, where it's all now in a central location. So you can see there's priority. I can change that from doing soon to now or eventually. I made it public so my friends can see it and everybody. My description, the path it's under, I can place in my focus, and we have things like you can set target completion days, goal linking. I can link this to a friend, or I can ask people to contribute. So if you had an account, then you could actually be contributing to this goal. And then when I complete it, you get credit for it.
And coming up, you'll be able to superimpose your face over Angie Harmon, because you've already done it. Here you are. Do you feel like down the road a piece you're going to hear from people who say, I put these goals out there, and because every day I could get on and look at it, it was a stair step. It was a ladder to my success. I mean, is that what would be like the ultimate that you would hear 5 years from now from you run into somebody who's used your website?
The ultimate. Well, I would always tell myself that when I started the project, as long as I could help one person achieve their goal, then the whole project would have been worth my while, right? So time, financially, and everything like that. And so far, I've already done that, right? And one of my goals on my life bucket is actually to be an inspiration. So to have somebody come up to me in 5 years and to say that I've inspired them to pursue their goals in some sort of way, shape, or form would be more than enough for me.
Was one of your goals in life to be an entrepreneur? I mean, or did you just kind of stumble into this, do you think?
So I'm an entrepreneur by blood. Both my parents have very successful businesses, and my sister as well. So she has a business as well. And growing up, I've always had some sort of business practice going on. I believe it was my freshman year of high school. I actually had my first LLC, which was a little company that I made with my friend to build custom computers and websites for people local. So I think it's definitely a mindset that you have to be in. So much later, I had another LLC, which was my umbrella company for all my production work. Both television and post-production stuff. which I also encompass my life bucket under as well. So I definitely think you can be made into an entrepreneur and you can be born one. And I was definitely born one.
Ryan, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with this week's Full Frame.
If you realize it's coming to an end, you make a list, and then it's like, I need to finish these things like right away.
Before I kick the bucket.
Exactly. So to me, that was always a little strange. And I've always been very goal-oriented myself. Very open, through a lot of people. And every now and then you hear people say, oh, it's on my bucket list and everything like that. But the concept of a bucket list was always a little bit morbid to me, right? You wait to the end of your life.
Who do you want to take along to share that experience with? And what if you could keep track of all that information in one awesome place? That's where Mylifebuket comes in. It's a social networking site based on the concept of a bucket list. The goal is to help you define a bunch of old codgers. You're a young guy. Why are you thinking about a bucket list so early in life?
Well, that is the thing. And it's funny you bring up the movie because I have actually not seen it, which is really ironic. But no, the concept of the bucket list has been...
Share and complete your life's goals. Mylifebuket, website creator and entrepreneur, is Ryan Corcoran, and he joins us now. Welcome to Full Frame, Ryan.
Thank you.
We'll get to that in just a minute. But when I think of bucket list, I think of the movie with Jack Nicholson, Morgan Freeman.